Hi guys, so Swapnil again this side, and most probably we are going to learn today the most important chapter in Drupal, the most important API in Drupal, and what I can say about this API from Drupal first version means Drupal version 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is the only API which we are using mostly, which we are using largely inside our Drupal when we do some work or when we do some task. So why this is the most important chapter in Drupal, or this is the most important API in Drupal? There is a reason, because we all know that Drupal is a content management system, or you can say content management framework. Okay, and why we use content management system or content management framework? The main reason is that we can transform our form data, we can do whatever we want to do using form, which should be dynamic, and user can easily create the form and transfer the data of their form or process the data of their form in whatever format they want, like saving in database or doing whatever process they want, like sending that data to third party API. So that kind of thing we can do. So why CMS made? To make all your static content easy maintainable, or you can manage your content easily using content management system. So whatever content and data you are having, you can make those data perform easily using content management system or content management framework. And in that content, any content management system and framework, form is the most important chapter, or I can say most important topic of that content management framework. So why this is most important topic? We know that in static form of content we can just save the data and we can show to the user. This is the main purpose why we use CMS. So but the processing of the data, formatting of the data, doing whatever you want to do with that data, that is the main part of any good CMS. How they are handling their form API, how they handle their form process, that is the major thing you can achieve by a form. And if I'll give you simple example, the whatever thing you are doing on the site, the most important thing to do your to user can contact a server, or user can whatever want to submit to the server in a form of form. Okay, that's why also form is the major important topic, because whatever we do based on form. Whatever, like we use Facebook, there is lots of form. When we message someone, we use a form where we write something. When we send some post to someone, we write some data to some kind of text box as a form. When we do our LinkedIn post, that is also a form. So major web work, whole website market is majorly depend on form. Whatever we do, the most tough thing is how fast you do the process of your form, how fast you do the process of your form data by using. And this is the only way to connect with user. Means user can only transfer the data, using form API. So that is the only thing using which you can transfer the data, or user can connect with server using form. So form is the only way to connect, to make the major connection between user and server. Whatever user do, it comes to the server and server responds to that. So by the form we can achieve anything if we want to take the inputs from the user. So form is the format to taking the inputs of the user. And larger, so if you see the larger society, when our world wide web has changed, when form got introduced in www. So because of this form we are most ahead, because we can save data, we can format data, we can send data to API, we can send some message to some person. All those things are form. So I hope you got my point, what I wanted to say. So that's why this is the major topic in Drupal. And today we are not going to cover any code topic, that we will cover in other parts, part 2 or 3. But today what we will do, we will make this topic or this session a fun discussion, a fun kind of discussion between me and you guys. So whoever will see this lecture, they will know how form works in Drupal, so that in future they can do whatever they want to do using form with easy format. I can land on the code easily, but if I will go to code, you will only understand the things which I will write in code. But the theoretical part is also most important thing. When you understand under the hood process, when you understand the theory knowledge of how form works, how actually designs, how its architecture design, how its system design, its forms system design, then you will have idea. You can work as a senior engineer and you can create anything as a core concept. You will think about that how behind the scene form works. So what you need to pick at right time, you can pick after this session when you write code. So let's start. So first thing, what is form API? So basically I'll try to share everything in this call. Every whatever I wanted to say, I want to say is I will convert all those complex topic in simpler one. I'll try to convey you in very simple format, and I'll try to convey you by only speaking, so that you, when you hear my things on this form API lecture, you will get easy connection that what I am talking about, and you will get easy concept. Means you, I just want to make this lecture a fun kind of lecture, so that you can learn a deep concept using a fun kind of lecture. So okay, let's start. First thing, let's assume first let me tell you what is form API. So form API is basically set of couple of things. Okay, sorry, form API is basically, just remember my, again I'm saying, I'm sorry guys, I'm trying to repeat multiple things multiple times in all of my lectures, because I want to convey you that message multiple times, so it will be somewhere in back of your mind, so every time you can remember that easily. Okay, so okay, form API is set of three major things. I will tell you three major things, you can even write that. Okay, so first thing is, form API is a combination, or you can say set of, first thing is interface. Okay, second thing is utility classes. I'll describe everything. And third thing is conventions. So okay, what is interface? Let's come to the interface. Interface, I will also after these all my Drupal lecture, I'll try to start one new course, object oriented programming, in a different session. But right now I am going to tell you very easily, because this discussion is basically depend on form API. So these are sessions are related to object oriented programming. So I'll go into deep into these three topics, then the lecture will get over and you will not be interested. So just take this topic as a form API, but I wanted to tell you under the hood what is happening. Okay, so form API is basically combination of three things: interface, utility class, convention. Just remember that. What is interface? Interface is basically, we create some class which is a basically a definition class, which we will say as a definition class, which will collect all those functions. Only they define them, they are not going to write any code into them. So when we implement that interface, or when we do utilize that interface in our classes or in our code, when we write that, when we use that interfaces, then we will declare the function how, and but the interface only define the function. Okay, it is a kind of skeleton of any class, and if you want to take that class, you have to declare all those functions which was defined in this interface. So let's take this as at this. I'm not going to take any example on this. I'll take that when I will start my lecture of object oriented programming. Okay, Second thing is utility classes. What utility class? Basically utility class calls as a helper class, okay. And what helper class do? Helper class contains static methods, okay. So utility classes are helper classes which contains static methods which we used to extend any functionality which we write in a core concept, okay. Third is convention. Just remember, utility class is a major part. This is the part which helps us to or which helps any developer to make any module easily, and they can extend that form API using basically utility classes under the hood without knowing what is happening inside. They don't need to know what is happening under the hood. They are using these utility classes when they create any kind of, or when they extend any kind of API. Third thing is conventions. What is convention? Basically convention, you know about naming convention, okay. Convention basically, in majorly, if I will describe convention, it is kind of rule by which you will define, declare, or position your variable in correct format, okay. So form API under the hood means when Drupal developers, core developers develop form API for us to use. What is API? API is application programming interface. So basically it is a interface, it is interconnected chain from the what Drupal creates for you. You don't have to go under the hood each and every time. You just take these things and you create forms using this interface. But under the hood it is a combination of interface, utility classes, and convention, okay. I hope you got the idea very clearly. But if any doubt is there, let's write in the comments. I'll try to describe and I'll try to reply as much as possible to declare whatever your doubts, okay. Now this is the form API, and now form API is combination of these three things, okay. But what form API does? Form API, by help of form API, any developer can create form, collect data in the form, validate that form, and process that form, okay. So what that form, this is the combination by which form API has been created under the hood. But what form API does? Form API is basically, we can create a form, we can validate a form, we can process data of form using submit mission, okay. And then whatever data we are processing, that is by the user, means user submitting those data, we are processing those data. So this is the major function which form API does, okay. So I hope you got the point. I have declared how form API has maintained. Now I have given you what form API does. Now let's go to next. Basically I'll tell you one more thing. In last lecture I have told you how render API works. If you have not gone through that lecture, just go to my all previous lecture. You will get major idea when you come to this lecture after all those lectures, okay. And if not, you can add comments in whatever lecture you are having doubts. You can add your comments in those lectures and I'll try to solve as soon as possible. But what I am thinking now, I have declared somewhere in my old lectures render API, what render API are and how they works, okay. So just make to make it make form API easier, I'll give you a hint also. It is related to render API, okay, because it uses the render array to define form. It is easy, means if you have gone through my last lecture, you will connect all those lecture interconnectedly and you can understand easily what I am trying to define. So basically form API also works as a render API, okay. So render API is basically helps to render the data on the page. So form API is also rendering your form on the page. So it works as a render API because it uses render array to define the form, okay. So form API uses render array to define your form. Now if you want to learn render API, go to my past lectures, okay. Now form is also, you can say it is a primary means it is a, basically I told you earlier also, but I am telling you again as a some technical terms, it is a basically a mean of interacting with Drupal site via UI, user interface. Means this is a medium only by which a Drupal site you can connect via user interface. The user can only interact with the data using your using your UI, user interface, using these forms. Okay, so form is a primary source or primary mean of interacting with Drupal site via user interface. User enters the data, you just do whatever you process, or you collect or validate data, or whatever you want to do with that data using this form API. So this is also one major thing which you want to, if you want to note, you can note. Okay, so now you already know, if you have already worked in Drupal 6 and 7, that we can edit any form, or we can alter any form using alter hooks. Okay, which we can use, and I'll tell you that in coding example also, but just listen to me for these lectures, that if you want to edit any existing form, or if you want to alter any existing form, you can use that using form alter. Form alter is already a topic inside our form API. Okay, so like just assume, if you have something, if you have some data or some form which is coming from, just assume in your team there is, I'll tell you lots of example, so you will assume and you'll get better in the concept. So let's assume developer is developing one module, and in that module he developed one form. Okay, now you are new developer and you want to work on that form, but you don't know how that form defined. So at that point of time you can use form alter in your module, and you can alter that form, and you want to edit whatever you want to edit in that form, and you can just create element, or you can add element, or you can use handle those logic using form alter. Okay, to edit any of the form. Okay, so basically what I told till now, form API is basically also a abstract layer. What abstract layer is? Form API is using as an abstract layer around your HTML form and HTTP handling. Okay, so basically there is a, you know, there is a HTML form. When user interacts with your form, that form is in HTML format in your user interface UI. Okay, when user enters some data, what that form does, we handle those data using our HTTP handling. Okay, like we posting that in somewhere, or we posting that to our server, or we are posting to any third party API, but we are doing something with HTTP. So form API plays intermediate role, abstract layer role. What abstract layer are? Intermediate means between HTML and between your HTTP process. There is a form API which take data from HTML and which process data as per HTTP handling. Okay, so each form which you make in Drupal starts its life as a class. Means when you create any form, these are the topic which we have defined till now. But now let's give you some programmatical knowledge also, that each form in the Drupal which you will create or which already has been created, they starts their life with form interface. Okay, which is also known as form controller. Means when we create, I'll when I will go to programmatically giving, I will also switch to programming knowledge, but right now I'm giving you theoretical knowledge. So in programming knowledge it will be easy to connect when I will tell you something. So just hear me out, that when you create any form controller, you know that to creating any form you need to create form controller. So that form controller in backend uses form interface. Okay, so that form interface is the starting point when you create any form. Okay, so in any form Drupal, in any form which you starts in create in Drupal, those are starting to from this class. Okay, Drupal core form interface. So this is under the hood logic. Now I am telling, means when you see any form, the first code which has written in core form, that is form interface. From there it starts its life. Form start its life from form interface, which we use as a form controller. Okay, so form interface has basically three main methods. You know that we already, if you already have used this Drupal 8 or 9, you will know that there is a three main major method by which we can create or validate or submit a form. Those are build method, build form, validate form, submit form. Okay, so there is, this is the basically first method by which Drupal form starts its life. Just remember, when any interviewer asks you a question that in Drupal core how form works, okay, under the hood how form works, from which method it starts its working, you can reply from form interface it starts its working. Means from form interface we can the Drupal core developers have started their code using form interface, but to which we implement in our form controller. I know I am using lots of technical words, but I am using multiple type of those, means multiple combinations of those words, so that you can understand easily, and I am repeating couple of things multiple times so that you can understand. If still you are having any doubt, please reach out to my comment. I will really help you, and I want to try, I want to help you so that you will be best coder when you code. Okay, so there is three main in your form interface, there is three main function which you use in your controller. Okay, first is build form, second is, these are also I have defined you, validate form in form of this theoretical knowledge as well, and third is submit form. Okay, so basically form, this is the core topic. This you only need to remember as a core developer. If you want to dig into how form works, this is the start point from where you can start. Okay, after that there is three main things, build form, validate form, submit form. These are the three major function or methods, you can say methods, by which your controller creates a form. So these three are major method when you are going to create any form in Drupal 8 and 9 or upper version. Okay, so these methods are coming from form interface, which you are going to declare in your form controller. Okay, so now let's come to some structure. I'll tell you how basically what I repeated till now. Let's draw something so you will get better idea. So just assume this is your browser. What is this? This is browser. Okay, and this is your server. So this is the browser and this is the server. Okay, now just assume you are hitting some URL abc.com/123. Okay, so what it does, when you hit any URL in browser, it goes to server, and that URL, when it goes to server, it basically goes to your routing method first. Okay, in server it goes to routing method first. So just assume you have hit some URL abc.com/myform, okay, where you have created some form. So now what will happen, your browser will hit the server for request, and then in server the first code which will transact that URL is routing. Okay, so using routing only we can create, we can understand that to which URL this wants to go. So routing is the main thing, main concept by which your server routes any URL in any place, or it knows which function need to call in which URL. Okay, so first your browser request goes to server goes ask to routing that what this URL is and where this want to go. If nothing in routing .yml, you will get 404. But if something you have entered in any of your routing.yml, that is the first code from where it will pick your data. So first it will go to routing.yml. In routing.yml, if you have written something for that URL, then what will happen, just assume you have created some form on that routing. Okay, so now that form goes to user and they can see that form on their user interface. Okay, so again I am repeating multiple times so you can easily understand, so it will be easy for you. First, when a person going to request anything from browser, that is going to go to server, and then server goes to your first code routing. That routing is going to tell to server, that browser, that okay, you have clicked some URL where the form is staying, so you will see, the browser will see that form. Okay, now here the user can see the display form. Now what will happen, just assume user added some data in that form. Just assume this is the form which user is seeing, and user filled something, and here he had clicked submit button. So what will happen, now again it will go to request to server, and now server know to which routing it redirects, and then what function need to call. Then what server will do, first it send this to validate method. Okay, your form validate method. So now this form, when user submit this data, this go to validate method, and in validate method means, which I told you earlier, validate form. Okay, in that validate form, if there is any error, okay, then what will happen, if just assume if there is any error, then again this server redirect, this validation redirect here to browser with the error message. Okay, which you need to correct. Okay, just assume if user again submit that data to resolving all those error, browser error, and then it will go to validate, and then it will go to your error handling, and if it is passed, then it will process that data into your server. Okay, so this is how form works. So basically build form, you can see this URL here, it will call build form. You can see this URL here, it will call validate form, and you can see this last processing URL after everything is done, here it is called submit data or submit form method. Okay, so build form works first, by which you can show the form to user, then there is validate form by which you can show error to user, and third is submit form by which you can submit or process your data further for further, like if you want to collect your information, or if you want to save your data in some database, or if you want to send your data in any third party, all those things you can do after these in this third step. Okay, so this is how form works, I defined clearly. So if you're not understanding still, just you can ask any doubt if you're having. If you are fresher also, ask any doubt if you are having, I'll tell you and I'll try to resolve those doubts. Okay, so now just revise again all those things programmatically. So I'm revising multiple times, it will help you guys to understand everything very easily. Okay, so I'm repeating again, so don't worry about what I'm saying, means don't worry about if you miss something. I'll repeat multiple times, and I hope you at last point when I'll repeat everything, you will not forget anything what I will discuss in this lecture. Okay, so now let's go to again. So let's revise all those things in a programmatically way. I have told you everything. I have also designed a diagram for you so you can easily understand. Now again I am repeating in programmatic format. Okay, so first thing what you have to remember, each form which creates by you or by any other module developer, first go to form interface. Again I am repeating those all things, Drupal core, because you will remember these are all important topics. Form interface. Okay, which implements form interface, and this form interface also called as form controller, which we usually create to create any form. Okay. Second thing is, I want to again tell you there is three major method which works to create any form or to process any form. First is for building your form, there is build form method which you will use it. Just think this is my some custom form controller. Okay, so this build form will be custom form controller and their build form method. Okay, so what this method does, this only trigger when user requests any form. Okay, in this phase controller builds the form array to display the user. Okay, just assume in this phase controller builds a form array. Okay, second thing is your validate form. So in validate form, what you can see, there's first was build form and second is validate form. In that validate form, what you can see, your custom form controller, and then in custom form controller, and then that the other method will be validate form. Okay, so by validate form you can use your form for validating purpose, and when this got triggered, when user submit anything, so in this phase controller perform any logic required to validate data. In this phase controller performs any logic required to validate any data. Okay, first was build form, by which user is building any form, and in that phase controller build the form using your form array to display the value or to display the form. Second phase is validate form. In validate form, what you does, in validate form you trigger means it got trigger only when user submit. Okay, user click on submit, then validate form will trigger, and in this phase controller perform the logic required to validate data. Okay, third is submit form. Last is you can see submit form. So in submit form there is method called submit form. So here you can see controller and submit form. Okay, so this is the third method, and when it trigger, when all the validation process is passed with no error, means first user will display the form using this method, then he will validate the form using this method, and third it will submit your form using this method. So in first method it will only trigger when user first requests that, like I shown you in that graph. Second is called when you want to validate the data. Third it will call when you want to submit the data. Okay, so now this is the thing I have repeated in 3 times and 3 different kind of top definition. So I hope now you will understand without forgetting anything. So now let's go to under the hood. Again I am going to say same thing, but under the hood, that how form get render on the page. Okay, so these are the thing you got. Now let's go to how form get render on the page. Okay, so first thing is what is happening. So basically there is lots of method which are doing lots of things in under the hood or backend, which are responsible for different things. So when you creating the form interface is the first method, interface method, which is coming from your form API. Okay, so form interface is the first method, and this is the only method which called first in your form API. Switch to the topic that how form gets render on the page. So let me tell you how this form get render. So we already know that each request first go to routing system. Okay, we already I have shown you in the graph that whenever we do any request, whenever user do any request, it should first go to routing system. Okay, okay, now let me write again here that so you will understand easily. When Drupal core form form interface is the first how I can write that, first connection, or um, you can say first mm, thing from which Drupal form starts its life. It will be easy to understand. Okay, now let me tell you second thing is in the rendering. Let me write here also that we are morely talking about how render works. How I can write that? How render form works. Okay, so this I am writing only for revision. Second, first what will happen when any form when you see any page, first the form the rendering of the form on the page is coming from form builder interface. Okay, so this is coming for, this is the first thing from where Drupal form starts its life. Now Drupal, these all things you need to remember or write somewhere. Core form and form builder interface is responsible for rendering the form process. Okay, so form interface, form builder interface. So how data on the page how form data on the page gets rendered under a hood, the all implementation logic has been written in form builder. So basically also you just need to remember that it also the all logics related to rendering a form has been written using Drupal core form builder, which implements second point. Okay, so all logics related to rendering a form has been written using this, which implements second point, means form builder interface. Okay, interface is only a definition, so we have to declare those methods which we will declare in our function using those, implementing those interface. This is object oriented topic. So this is this is responsible for Drupal form logic, and this is responsible for how form comes on the page under the hood. Okay, so now so first, when we hit anything when we hit anything where the form is there, so each request first go to routing system. Okay, and provided by routing handler which handle all the request. Okay, which differentiate route by form in routing.yml itself. Okay, so let me write again that all routing system uh, is provided or implemented by route handler. Okay, so now you know that when a browser, when a user clicks on any link of the browser sorry, it first go to that route, and that all route system has been written under route handler. Okay, so these four things is very important which you need to remember. Route handler is the handler which handles all the requests and which handle all the routing system. Second, form builder is responsible for all logic to related to rendering a form. Third, form interface is the first method which using controller interface we create any form. Okay, so these are the important thing. So now we all know that form defined as renderable array, as I told you, in previous means when I started this lecture, that form defined as a renderable array. So there is already a form builder service by which you can request any specific form which you want to use. Okay, so form builder service, again I am writing one more point here. Form builder service is very important, I can say very important, and very important, and what I can write, and form builder service is very important, and a service which is responsible for any specific form which you want to use. Okay, so let me describe this also, that if you get that, that is well and good, but if you have not got that, let me describe that that there is lots of already existing form and lots of form created by lots of other developers. Okay, so you don't need to write again and again build form for those form which is already existing, either by any other module or either by any other developer or either by any core module. So what you will do at that point of time, when there is means that form builder which is, there is already a service that called form builder service. Okay, so by using that service you can call any of the form in the system. Means using form builder service you can call any already existing form in easy way. I'll show that in coding example, but if I'll miss anything, just remember me or just add your comments so that I can work on that. So this is form builder service, very important service, and this is responsible for any specific form which you want to use. So just again I am repeating, just assume there is a site where already 100 form was there. Okay, and now your the client asks you to create to render one form in any other place where you are creating your module. So you are creating your new form in some places /abc, and client want the other form which is already existing in the system by any other developer or any core module, that please call this module this form also in your page. So don't go to create again that whole form, because that is already created. So you need to use only form builder service, so that you can use any of existing form anywhere if you want, and all those logics you don't need to take care about submit and process and validate logic. Those will take care of their own module. So those will not those will not get affected. So this is very important one. Okay, and then you already know that I already repeated multiple times, build form method is form controller is Okay, let me again tell you that build form we already described. Okay, so build form method, just remember that, is also called form API. We can also say form API array or form array. Okay, because that is array which converts HTML as a part of process of rendering. Okay, so when you render any page, what happens, you use form builder. Okay, and form builder, build form, sorry, build form in your controller, and this build form is also called form API array or form array. Okay, so this is also important, and this is the build form is only responsible to convert all the HTML as part of process of rendering. Okay, this is responsible for rendering your form in HTML, because this uses form API array or form array, and then that form array uses render API and or rendered array service, so that already convert those as a part of render. Okay, so during rendering process, form also generate and insert. You can, means this is majorly responsible for rendering your form. So I told everything how your form get rendered on the page, because this is responsible for convert your form data which is in array to HTML using render API or render process. Okay, or render array. So basically in your already existing form, during this rendering process, if you want to generate or insert some additional information, means sorry, I'll tell you again, during during this during this whole process where form gen render happening, the form API also generates and insert some additional info. So during this whole process where form render happening, the form API also generates or I cannot write form API, this is rendering process work. So during this whole process we are rendering, you can write this as process where form render process, during this whole process where form render process also generate, so this form render means this, by this method you generate the form, but this form method also generate some additional information on your form. Okay, so what is that information? First thing is form ID. Second thing is form token. Third thing is form build ID, and last is OP. Okay, so let me tell you, form ID is basically unique ID for each form. Okay, this helps to identify which form is getting submitted. So this is the ID, which very important, because this only create a uniqueness in any form, because by this form ID only we can know that which form is getting submitted. So by form ID only we can differentiate all the form. Okay, so this is unique ID. Form token is basically unique token. Okay, and build ID that are specific to rendering of this form. So basically unique token and build ID, these are basically specific to that particular form. These are also unique based on your form ID, and where these are used when your form is submitted in order to prevent some attacks. Okay, form token and form build ID are using to prevent some attack, like you know that cross site CSRF, cross site forgery, what we say that cross site CSRF. So CSRF attack and local modification attack, where you can edit any form, like you are creating any form, and you have created any form, and user is going to inspect element, and after inspect element, if you have created some select option, and user is going to edit that select option, and they want to add their extra option which was not already in the form by your side, so that also can be prevented, this form build id, okay, and form token. And these also saves us from CSRF. Let me remember, cross site request forgery, okay. So cross site request forgery can also be saved, that attack can also be saved from these two things, okay. And OP is basically used to know that these, like just assume in your page there is a form with multiple buttons, okay, and this OP is used to know that which button was clicked, okay, when form gets submitted. So if you have multiple buttons on your page, and you want to know that which button user clicks, that is traced by OP, okay. So these are four basically important things which generates during your render process. So you don't write to anything, because these value is inserted and processed automatically. But if some point of time you are being a senior developer, if somebody asks you to debug a form, or debug why that form is not working, you have to debug based on form token and form build id also. So it helps to debug something, okay. So you know that we can save this CSRF. And local modification, I have told you what local modification are. If somebody in your form is like, you are having some form, there is some select option, so what user can do, or some attacker can do, they can add their own option in that select using inspect element, and using browser tool, inspect element browser dev tool, and they can add their option. So that also can be protected from form token and form build id, okay. So that called local attack, local modification attack, where the user modify and they attack on your server. So this is now this is the major, these are the very major information when you render any form. I have discussed anything, everything now using render process. Now let me tell you that form alter, this is the most powerful thing in Drupal form API. Form alter, okay, most powerful thing, or you can say aspect in Drupal form API. So form alter is basically really very powerful tool, because you know lots of forms, sometime you need to edit, or sometime you need to extend some value, or sometime you need to add extra elements in that form, or sometime you need to change the logic of validation, sometime you need to do something before submit, or sometime you need to do something after submit of the form. So this form alter is very solid tool, where you can alter or you can edit any form on the site using your custom code. So basically in under the hood, what happened already, when developer create this form API, or to use those API by us to create any form, or to use those API by any engineer or developer to create any form, they already created numerous hooks invoked already inside their module, or inside that form API. When they created core form, okay, core form module, they have already created numerous hook invoked in those module, which later on we can use, and we can edit any form and any number of times. So form alter is important tool. I'll show you lots of form alter example when I create, when I go to coding example. But just remember, by this tool, by this powerful aspect, we can change anything in any form on the site without touching their code. Means if any form user wants you, or business wants you to do some logic, extra logic on any existing form, or business wants to do anything like after submit, they want to send those data to some API, third party API also, you can do that using form alter without touching their code of that form where it was originally has been created, okay. So I hope you got what form alter do, but I'll give you an example also. But if not, if theoretical not, just add your comments so that I can give you some example where you can know how form alter works. So I have shown you everything. Now one more thing I missed, that form state. So as a form alter, form state basically uses this dollar form variable. Form state basically use dollar form state variable inside any form. So form state is basically an object used to control life cycle of specific instance of a specific form. Okay, so you know there is various stage of any form. Okay, just assume you are having a form, there is different stage of that form. Okay, just assume you want to do something between validation and submit. Between validation and submit you want to do something, at that point of time you can use form state. You want to do something before just your validation, then you can use your form state. And there is lots of example where you can use your form state. Basically in one line if I'll tell, it control life cycle, means life cycle of any specific form, means various stage. Your form saves in goes in various stage when got implemented. So in those various step, in any step if you want to do or edit something, you can use this form state. So basically it's an implementation of form state interface. Okay, so this is the implementation of Drupal form, Drupal core, right? Core form state interface. Here you can see all the code. So this is under the hood, where from where it handled, this handled from this place, form state interface. I am telling you every topic in form API, how form works. So just go to my this video multiple or 2 times. I know this is long video, but this will help you to understand further thing in form, and you can do whatever you want to do. So before going to programming, go always theoretical to gain some knowledge, so that when you go programming everything will smooth and easy. Okay, so this is the form state. So there are a couple of example which I can tell you where we can use form state. So basically just assume we can check if your form has submitted, okay, and process has been completed. So we can check if some error is coming or something happened between that form. So we can check what in form changed when form submission process complete. This is one example. Okay, so again we can see that we can retrieve the value of submitted form during validation or submit handling. Like I told you that we can fetch any stage, so we can retrieve values of submitted form during validation and submission using this form state. Okay, we can raise or retrieve error for a specific element. Okay, we can retrieve error of a specific element or entire form using this form state. We can get information which button of the form in multiple form gets clicked using this form state. We can get the full information about HTTP method, what is happening in HTTP using form state. We can also store information related to process data in form of cache, okay, using form state. So form state also helps us to create cache of anything or create cache of our state or form. Okay, so this is form state. Now the last topic I am covering is form cache. I hope I have covered everything else in theoretical. So form cache, so when user first view a page with a form, okay, a copy of that form with that state entered into cache. This helps in multi-step and multi-page form. Okay, let me tell you again. If a user viewing any form, okay, and user edit, we have created some form which is having multi-step form or multi-page form. When you submit next step, submit next step, at last step, fourth step, it is getting submitted. Okay, so what will happen if user reload the page? So we don't have to lose data when user edited their first step. Okay, if user comes to filling some form, we know lots of form is having multi-step form, where first step you fill, then next, then next, then next, and then last. So if user or internet gone, or user refresh the page by mistake or reload the page or something happened, what should happen? Again user have to fill those data in previous state also. So we need to save those data in some state where form cache helps. So by form cache we can we can save a copy of the state entered into cache. This will help us to use multi-step or multi-page form. Okay, so basically I can write you a copy of form with state entered into cache in multi-step forms. This is one example I am giving, so you can understand cache, where cache needed. Okay, here is the cache needed. Now cache also helps to HTML modification from browser. Means in Drupal what happens, like just assume if somebody wants to edit something or attack something in your form, at that point of time we can use our cache helps us, like when we do HTML modification from browser, Drupal compare our version sent from the browser with the version stored in cache. Means everything is very means largely or you can say logically handled in Drupal. It is very good. Drupal is very good framework. Even you can learn your logics, your everything, your coding standard, your object oriented programming in Drupal. So now Drupal has a large thing which you need to understand. So cache is one of them. So in form also cache is important. One example I told you, it create a copy of your state in cache in multi-step form. Second thing, it also helps to HTML modification. Means if a person modify anything in browser and they want to attack to your form, okay, at that point of time Drupal already resolve this issue using already they are comparing your browser version sent from browser with the version stored in cache. With that way, means Drupal also match browser version of form with cache version. Okay, with cache version. So this is the other thing where we can use cache, and we already know that form processing should not depend on cache. This you need to remember. Form processing never should be depend on cache. So when you write any logic in form state, that should be regardless of cache. Okay, form processing should not be depend on cache when you are writing your logic in form state. Take care of this. Okay, now if you want to learn more, I'll tell you, you can go to Drupal core form cache. So under the hood it is coming from this. So I have given you all the example how form API work. If you go through my lecture, I hope, means I am damn sure, not hoping, I am damn sure you will know everything in Drupal how form API works, and you will know any doubt in future, and you can do multiple things in Drupal, and you can do multiple things using form without any doubt in your back of your mind. Okay, thank you so much guys. We will connect again for part 2. I know this is a long lecture, but please try to take this as a as a what you can say, as a chance. You will get something better. Thank you so much. We will connect again. Thanks a lot.